Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I'm going to jump right into it, and I want to pick up with the storm that came through 2 days ago. That was unbelievable. It really was. It was one of those storms that the sun was out, this dark cloud moved in, it hit, and 10, 15 minutes later, the sun was back out. I drove around, and I couldn't believe at the damage I saw. I was in Walmart, actually, when it hit, and the power went out. Their generator didn't kick on. It was pitch black in the store, no lights. I left, got back in my car, went driving around, and I was just shocked at the amount of trees down, wires down. It was unbelievable, the damage that was done in a few minutes. And I know lots of people lost power. Hopefully everyone by now has their power back on. Mine was out for quite some time, maybe 8 to 10 hours. But that was unbelievable. And it even took down one of the big trees at Park Square. But I do want to say a big thank you to some of the crews that don't get a lot of gratitude for their work, and that's the utility workers, the guys out in the trucks, the guys and girls out in the trucks. But that work on the lines, that get up there in those bucket trucks, and I mean, that's a dangerous job. And, I often see when they're doing that, cars flying by them, not slowing down. If they don't see a police officer there, they often don't slow down. But be aware of that, because these workers are out there doing this, like in that storm, and that wind kept going for quite some time. And those are dangerous conditions and a dangerous job. And they're out there making sure our utilities are back on. So it's a very difficult job. If you know anybody who does it, thank them. But a big thank you from me to all the utility workers, whether they're the Eversource workers or the Spectrum workers that are out there getting the cable and internet back on for people. But the Eversource workers are, we'd be lost without them. They bust their butts in very dangerous conditions to make sure we have our utilities back on. So I just wanted to make sure I said a thank you to them. And also, speaking of Park Square, I want to talk about the Shared Spaces and Streets project. So this is a project that the city received a grant for from, I believe, Mass DOT, Department of Transportation. And it's around $240,000 grant. It was $238 and change. And as many of you have probably already seen, under the Shared Streets and Spaces project, from Park Square heading down to, if you're heading down North Street from Park Square down to Finn Street, it has been reduced to one lane. So where the parking spaces were that's now a bike lane, and where the inside traffic lane is now parking spaces, and then you have one lane of travel. I don't know what to think about this. It doesn't seem like a very good idea to me. I was up there yesterday, and when the storm hit, right after that, I was up there, and it was already causing problems. Yesterday, it was already causing problems with traffic backed up, and I was thinking the same thing a lot of people are. Emergency vehicles needing to get through. How's that going to work out? It just seems like a bad idea, the whole thing. Maybe I'm wrong, but from what I've already seen, and we've done crazy things with North Street. Remember years ago, let's try diagonal parking, let's try this type of parking, and let's reduce it to one lane. Let's make it 3 lanes. Let's make it 2 lanes. Let's leave it alone and focus on business growth. But that's supposed to be what this is doing. I don't know if we have that many bicyclists that travel North Street, but maybe that's what they're trying to create. I don't really know. I think it's more like this. We like getting grants here in the city. If there was a company called Engine that was willing to give a grant for $1 million to have, a Tyrannosaurus Rex hatchery put in the middle of Park Square or in the middle of North Street, we'd say, we'll take it. We'll take a grant for anything. So it was about $240,000, and they took it, and the deadline, I believe, was today, the 9th, to get this in place. I don't know how that's going to work, and I don't know if this is the right area for it. What happens in winter? Does that go back to the way it was in the winter, or do we expect people to be riding bicycles down North Street? I really don't know what to think of it. And on the serious side of it, I hope nobody gets hurt. I hope we don't see a lot of accidents because of it, and I hope it doesn't delay response time from emergency vehicles. It just seems like that's a potential disaster in the making. I wonder how long that'll last. So if you haven't seen it, I did put up a post on that, and I'll put some more pictures up later. But, I also wondered, where's Counselor Kakimo on that, the anti-parking guy? He thinks we have too many parking lots in Pittsfield. And he really, or when the Taco Bell was putting in their permitting to move to their new location where they're going to be, he grilled them, no pun intended, but grilled them about everything. How many parking spaces? Will there be shade trees? Can you put grass there? He was worried about the angle of the sun and the pavement radiating heat. He wanted no backlighting on the sign. He wanted poles put in that would shine lights on the sign. All sorts of crazy stuff, which I didn't understand where he was coming from with all this. Where was he on this issue? I would have loved to heard from him. I mean, was there traffic studies done on this? Or did we just say, oh, there's a grant available? We'll take it. And it sounds like that's pretty much what it was. I don't know if this is a good fit for Pittsfield or not. I personally don't think it is. But hey, maybe they'll prove me wrong. Another thing, the cell tower situation. That's one I've been talking about. I need to get back and dedicate another video to that. I'm going to do some more follow-up. I've got some more research on that. But that's a fight that's still going on, as it should. I support them on that. And look, this isn't about anti-cell towers at all in any way. It's about where we put them. And why that whole situation with the cell tower that went up in Ward 4 with a 877 South Street address was kind of deceptive. And in my opinion, you can take kinda out of that statement. It was put in a sneaky way, and the reason I definitely say that is Alma Street, where it's the closest street that the tower is to, they put in an illegal access road in the beginning, and we're just moving heavy vehicles through there, and then that had to be stopped till they put an access road in off of South Street going all the way back to where this tower is, which is closer to Holmes Road than it is South Street. And this has been an ongoing fight, because the people in that neighborhood found out that this was going up and going to happen as the construction started. So it's not that people are against cell towers, it's placing them in the right place. Remember when they wanted one in the Wyandotte Mill? I thought that was a perfect location for one. It's an industrial area. They wanted one there. Everyone fought that. And they decided not to go with it. But now we're saying it's okay to stick this right next to houses, that they had no knowledge of this. So one of the things that they're fighting for is to move, the way that it sits in ordinance right now is any abutter, land abutter within 300 feet has to be notified by certified mail. Nobody else does. They want to extend that for commercial projects to 1,600 feet. So people know if there's a commercial project going in next to your property and your house. I don't think that's unreasonable at all. And that's what this is about. It's about transparency and communication. And that's why I support them on this 100%. So I will follow up on that. And it's their Facebook page. If you haven't liked it, if you're interested, check it out. I think it's Pittsfield Concerned Citizens for the Cell Tower, something like that. I'll put the link in the comment section of this video. Another big thing that I wanted to touch on is violence in the city. And I know we only hear about violence in the city from our politicians during campaign season. Luckily, next year's a campaign season for us, so we're going to hear about all the superpower things they're going to do to stop it. But it's a serious issue. And we just had another young person, another young woman at the age of 22 lose her life. And then we just had another situation with a stabbing. The violence in the city has put us statistically in a dangerous spot, and that we remain, as always, for 10 years now, in the top 10 for most dangerous communities in the state of Massachusetts, and that's by the FBI's crime data. So where is the mayor on this one? You know, we like to get out and protest and justice and all these for other things. What about the people in those neighborhoods? What about the young people that are falling victim to this? Look at how many young people that have lost their lives to violence in our community. We need to stop this. And it's going to take the full community getting together and rallying against this. I have had a lot of people in that neighborhood, which is down near Bradford and Robbins, Madison, Daniels, Dewey. I've had a lot of people contact me that some of them have said, you know, we appreciate it, Mike, but we're getting out of here. We can't take it anymore. Some people tell me, you don't understand, man. This whole area has been given over to like criminals and gangs. I hate hearing that. I can't, and I believe it. These people aren't just saying that to say it. Where's the mayor on this? Maybe today she'll give one of her award-winning videos and we can hear something from her on this. I know when she first ran for office, man, she was out there at anything that had any insinuation of criminal activity in any way. Oh, she was right there to blame her predecessor. Well, now that she is mayor, you know, where's the solution? Where's the uniting us as a community and standing with all her constituents and saying, we're not going to tolerate this and let's figure out a way. But it's going to take the whole community, and it takes leadership to unite a community. It takes leadership to communicate with everyone. That's so important. So that's one that I want to address, and please continue to message me, all the people that have, and I will go through those one at a time and get back to you as I've already started communicating with people. I would like to safely do some kind of rally or anti-violence rally or protest. I truly feel horrible for all the people living in those conditions, and no more young people, not in Pittsfield. You know, I hate hearing, oh, it happens everywhere. Crime's up everywhere. I don't care about everywhere right now. I care about here. I care about our community and our people. So please, if you're interested in doing something, message me and we'll try to organize something. Another thing is the situation is with those in homelessness. And as many of you know, this former Saint Joseph High School is going to be reopened as an emergency shelter through this winter. Should have never been closed. And all the information from when I broke that story, from when it was closed to what was happening at Springside Park and our other parks, it ain't just Springside, but that one got a lot of the attention because a lot of the people, that was where they relocated to when the shelter was abruptly closed, and then their belongings were thrown in the trash. And Mayor Tyre did a radio interview yesterday just praising ServiceNet and saying that ServiceNet has always been there and provided, you know, we've had encampments have been part of our landscape in Pittsfield for years, and that ServiceNet has always went to all these encampments making sure everyone has what they need. Come on. So all the people I spoke to are lying. All the people living in that are lying. What we saw on Springside Park, the day I went up there, the first day I went up there, which was 6 or 7 days after the shelter closed in July, and we were asking people, have you seen it or talked to anybody? None of them. We had to get the fire department up there for unresponsive people. It was an absolute mess. We had a young man take his own life in that park. Just the whole thing was a disaster. All those people that I spoke to and city councilors spoke to him and heard the same stories. They felt they were treated horrible when they were at that shelter. Their belongings, few things they owned, were thrown in the trash and thrown away on them. Nobody was offering them assistance with substance abuse counseling or mental health counseling. None of that was happening. And none of them were tested for COVID, which was even crazier to me, that nobody was tested and then they just put them back out on the streets with nowhere to go. So, you know, the mayor's saying that only 50 people, they expect to shelter 50 people. That could be true. It might even be less than that because a lot of those people might not return after what happened to them at the conditions there. So I hope that we do, I hope that ServiceNet can provide the adequate and professional services. I'm not bashing everyone who works for ServiceNet, but they are a massive company that pulls down between $65 and $75 million a year in revenue to operate these shelters. They get a lot of money to do it. And I think as a community, we should demand that it is operated the right way. I mean, there's a problem here, and this is a public health and public safety problem for everyone. For everyone. So that's something I'm going to stay on, and we need to. One last thing is the pizza places that I've been doing those posts, and I'm going to end up doing free ads for all of them. I missed yesterday, and that was only because I had power failure and all that. It set me back a day, but I'm going to continue with that today and get some. There's a few left that I want to get photos of, and then based on the amount of likes, I'm going to do a video ad for all of them. But I'm going to start with the ones that got the most likes and work my way on the list that way. And then on the itspittsfieldtonight.com on the website, I'm going to start building a directory with videos and pictures and their menu and the whole deal and promoting them. And that's part of the GoFundMe I'm doing right now. That's what I use some of that money for. And that's what some of that money will be used for. Most of it to replace equipment to do this stuff, but I boost a lot of ads for free for the businesses. And after the pizza places, I'm going to move on to other restaurants, and after the restaurants, all businesses, till eventually it's, as a page, we're promoting all of our local businesses. I think that's really important. And last but not least, I'm working on a short documentary from the Pittsfield Cemetery, so I'm hoping to wrap that up this weekend and early next week, be able to get that out. So that is it for now. I know it's a lot to go over, but I will be back on the cell tower thing. I've just got to do some more research on that and staying on top of what happens with this shelter at the former Saint Joseph High School. That's crucial that we talk about that, and it's crucial that that's run the way it should be run, and the mistakes that happened before are not repeated, because it was a disaster. It was an absolute disaster. The abrupt closing of it, saying the diocese told them that they had to get out by August 1st, which I don't believe that for 1 second. The diocese said they could use that for as long as they needed. Definitely during the pandemic. They told them till mid-2021, and they're allowing them to use it now, and that's proof that, and they're saying they never told anybody they had to get out. They never said that. So, anyway, I'm not going to harp on what has already happened. Let's, moving forward, make sure that this is done right. And people need to be held accountable because, this is a public safety and a public health issue, and it's a humane issue. So, all right, for the last time, that is it for now. I'll have another video out this weekend, and if you can, help out with the GoFundMe. Even if it's $5 or $10, every little bit helps, and that's, I'll explain more what I'm doing on that later in another video. But it is just to continue this page for free, including promoting our businesses and all the other stuff. So if you like what I do here, then help out if you can. If you can't, no worries. I know it's a tough time right now, and that's it. So I will catch everyone this weekend. Get out and enjoy the weather. Saturday is going to be beautiful, and I'll catch you all on Saturday or Sunday.